Elsa's hands have ice powers, Rapunzel's hair has healing powers, and Moana has the power over the ocean. But what about the other Disney princesses? Keep watching to the end to discover all the clues in the Frozen 2 trailer about Anna's possible secret power. Here's our take on what magic powers each of the Disney princesses should have. Harry Potter, eat your heart out.
Whappity, peppity, poo! Skip, skip.
Ariel. We're starting off with Ariel and a magic power we think she might already possess. Did you ever wonder why Eric was so enchanted by Ariel's voice? Sure, it's lovely, but he was totally obsessed with it.
She had the most beautiful voice.
So obsessed, in fact, that he was willing to marry Vanessa because she had Ariel's voice. To understand the possible reason for Eric's enchantment, we have to turn to old legends about merfolk, specifically the sirens. These magical creatures existed in Greek mythology as dangerous, mermaid-like beings. They lured sailors with their enchanting singing voices, leading them to shipwreck on the rocks of their island. We see the power of the siren's song again in Freeform's mermaid mystery thriller TV series called Sirens. In this show, the sirens have a unique voice box, which is described as being almost supernatural. They can lure others towards themselves with their song. That has dark consequences, just like the original sirens of mythology. We think the star of The Little Mermaid might just have this enchanted voice too. We're definitely not suggesting Ariel would use her magic power for destruction, but we think it makes perfect sense for Ariel to have a magic power that lies in her voice. She could use it to enchant people to do what she wants, but only for good things, or she could use her voice to control the ocean, but in a very different way than Moana can. Our next princess also has a magic power that is hinted at in her movie.
Wanna know a secret?
Snow White. Snow White loves animals. It's not surprising given that the forest animals are her only friends until she meets the dwarfs. In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it actually seems like Snow White can speak to the animals. Well, she certainly talks a lot to them anyway, and they seem to understand her. They lead her to the dwarf's cottage when she's looking for a safe place to stay. Squirrels, deer, and the turtle help her clean. Doves, rabbits, chipmunks, and raccoons gather around her. She even sings a duet with a baby bird. So we think Snow White might already have the magic power of being able to talk to animals. Just like Dr. Dolittle. We can tell it's not the case that everyone in Snow White's world can talk to animals. When the animals try to let the dwarfs know that Snow White is in trouble, the dwarfs don't understand them. So it seems like it's just Snow White's special power. The question is, what could she use the magical gift for? We think it would be fun for Snow White to be the Disney princess's official animal interpreter. After all, lots of the princesses have animal sidekicks and friends. Snow White could translate and help everyone understand each other. Cinderella. For our next princess, we're looking at a sequel movie for a clue as to what her magic power could be. Cinderella's third movie, called Cinderella 3: A Twist in Time, is all about controlling time. When the fairy godmother loses her wand, Lady Tremaine uses it to reverse time. The action goes back to before Cinderella tried on the slipper. Magic makes the slipper fit Anastasia's foot instead.
Grace and poise, my dear. Oh.
And they use the wand to wipe Prince Charming's memory. Suffice to say, it all works out fine in the end, but that story got us thinking that Cinderella would be totally suited to having magical powers over time. After all, time plays an important part in her story. She only has until midnight until the fairy godmother's transformations end, and she has to race against time to try on the glass slipper. So if Cinderella has the magic power of controlling time, what could she do with it? Well, she could pause time whenever she needed to get ready for a ball, or if she lost another shoe, she could go back in time and find it. Belle. When you think of Belle's favorite things, what do you picture? The Beast, of course, but also books. When we first meet our heroine in Beauty and the Beast, she's all about her books, and also about wanting more than her provincial life. So we think Belle would love having the magic power of super speed. There are a couple of ways she'd totally own this power. First off, she could read her books really quickly. That means she could read even more of them. She'd get through Beast's library in no time. We've seen what that power looks like already in the Disney universe. In Descendants 2, we see Mal use the speed reading spell to help her read a book in record speed.
Read it fast at lightning speed. Remember everything I need.
Belle would certainly put that power to good use. We think she could also use it to have even more adventures. She sings about wanting adventure in the great wide somewhere. So if she had the magic power of super speed, she could have even more adventures by traveling really quickly across the great wide world. Aurora. Did you know that Aurora is the only Disney princess to have violet eyes? And it's her unusual eyes that we think would be the source of her magic power. We reckon Aurora should have the power to send people into a trance just by looking into their eyes. How did we come up with that? It's all down to the events in her movie. In Sleeping Beauty, Aurora is cursed to fall asleep when she pricks her finger on a spinning wheel. So, wouldn't it be totally amazing if she took on that curse and managed to harness its power within her? In our own version of a Sleeping Beauty sequel, we'd learn that when Maleficent's curse took effect, it went deep inside Aurora. Sure, she was awoken from her slumber by true love's kiss.
Well, after all, Stefan, this is the 14th century.
But part of the power of the curse remained within her, instead of being used against her. However, the curse became Aurora's power. With the power of her gaze, she became able to send others into a trance-like sleep. Watch out, Maleficent! We can easily picture how freaky Aurora's eyes would look when she's using her power. All you have to do is watch the scene when she's hypnotized, walking toward the spinning wheel. Creepy. Jasmine. When you think about all the magical powers you might like to have, what's up there as the best? We reckon the ability to fly would be an amazing power to have. It would make you feel like a fairy, or a bird, or even a magical flying carpet.
It's a magic carpet.
It's lovely.
That's why we think Jasmine should have the magic power of flight, because she looked totally at home soaring through the air on the magic carpet with Aladdin. In fact, Jasmine looked like a natural. What could Jasmine use her magic power for? Well, there's definitely a touch of the rebel about Jasmine. She defies her father, unknowingly steals an apple from the market, and runs away from home. So we reckon Jasmine could have quite a lot of fun with this power. She could hang out with Tinkerbell and the other Disney fairies, getting up to mischief.
She's a lady.
Merida. Levitation is another magical power that would be high on our list. Just imagine being able to make things rise and float in midair. We reckon Merida would be right at home with this power. After all, she manages to make arrows float through the air with total precision. We see in her movie Brave that Merida is already the best archer in all the land. She beats the sons of the other leaders easily. But just imagine how formidable she'd be if she had the power of levitation at her fingertips. She could stop her competitors' arrows in mid-flight and make them float off course. Levitation is one of the spells that the students of Hogwarts learn in Harry Potter.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Wouldn't it be cool if Merida used her bow or arrow as her wand? All she'd have to do is point at an object, say the secret spell, and voila, hovering flying objects at her command. Mulan. Just like Merida, Mulan has pretty formidable skills already. But you know what would make her an even more successful fighter? If she had the magic power of invisibility. This is another power we see in Harry Potter, but the witches and wizards that can turn themselves invisible don't do so through spells. They have to use a physical object, an invisibility cloak. Harry's dad, James Potter, used one when he was a student at Hogwarts to help him get up to mischief. But we think Mulan would use the magic power of invisibility for more serious tasks. She could use her magic power to sneak up on her enemies when they're having meetings, so she could discover their plans. She could also use it in battle as well. If she had the power to turn herself invisible, could Mulan also have the power to turn others invisible too? If so, she'd definitely let Shang in on the action. As an invisible team, they'd be unbeatable. Enemies better watch out.
Kissing would be nice, yes?
Tiana. We can't help but think of Harry Potter when we think of magic powers, and this next one is also something that we'd see at Hogwarts. One of Tiana's biggest challenges in The Princess and the Frog was becoming human again after she turned into a frog, so she knows a thing or two about transfiguration. In Harry Potter, they describe transfiguration as the alteration of the form or appearance of an object, person, or animal. It's regarded as very hard work in the wizarding world. That's no problem for Tiana though. She's surely the hardest worker out of all the Disney princesses. She's the only one that has a job. In fact, she works 2 jobs. So how would her transfiguration skills work? We reckon Tiana would use potions rather than a wand to turn people into animals. She's such a great cook that she'd have no trouble creating potions out of various ingredients. Pocahontas. Pocahontas is one of the princesses that's most in touch with nature. When we watch her running, leaping, and dancing as she sings her Colors of the Wind song, it's almost like she has magical powers already. She can soar high and run fast. She's so in touch with the natural world around her that it makes sense that her magic power would revolve around nature too. Pocahontas is also able to communicate with Grandmother Willow. So we think her power would be related to nature spirit guides too. In Harry Potter, the Patronus is a similar idea. It's described as a guardian, which acts as a shield between a person and a Dementor. It's also called a positive force and a projection of hope and happiness. Harry's Patronus takes the form of a stag, just like his dad's. There's something about these smoke-like vapor shapes that resonate with Pocahontas too. She could have the magic power of conjuring spirit guides and seeing other people's guides too. Anna. We already know that Anna has the superpower of love in Frozen. She saves Elsa from Hans with her sisterly love.
Love. Of course.
But we reckon she might have another magic power, which will be revealed in Frozen 2. The trailer for the sequel has got everyone so intrigued with theories about every aspect of it. When thinking about Anna's powers, it's the heart-shaped purple fire that has got us most intrigued. It makes total sense that Anna would have a secret power. After all, Elsa was born with ice power, so surely her sister could have a magic power too. And what's the opposite of ice? Fire, that's what. We reckon Anna made that purple fire surrounding Elsa and Olaf. If Anna had fire power, then the 2 sisters would balance each other out. It's like winter versus summer. But why hasn't Anna used her powers yet? There's a theory behind that. When Elsa hit Anna with her icy powers as a child, Grandpappy Troll healed Anna by removing all traces of magic, including her memories. Perhaps Anna's magic fire power has been lying dormant all this time. We can't wait to see if that theory comes true in Frozen 2. So there you have it, our take on the magic powers the Disney princesses should have. Which magic power would you give to your favorite princess? Let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to The Things for more videos like this one. We'll see you next time.